Good County, everyone. This is Professor Rahh, Professor Emeritus, California State University, Long Beach, Africana Studies Department, former City Council person for the City of Compton, former Compton College School Board of Trustees, and Compton Unified School District Board of Trustees member. I want to welcome you here to the Conscious Corner, along with my co-host, Brother Joe Hembrick, longtime educator for Compton Unified and Linwood Unified in all capacities as administrator and school teacher. And at the same time, a historian doing research and in-depth studies on the history of our ancient past. And we want to welcome each and every one of you to the Conscious Corner for a day for a roundtable discussion on issues that we deem necessary to discuss about the Black community. Everything is always focused on the African-American, Afrocentric perspective of issues that we are faced with. It's very important that we discuss these things. I want you to know you found your family in a peaceful place, and we wish for you blessings without numbers and all good things without end. We want to welcome the guest, Brother Machinda, straight out of Louisiana right now, but South Los Angeles and by way of South Los Angeles, and also Brother E and Sister Linda Shorter, dealing with the storms in Florida. And we want to begin by good news and good deeds that you've seen Black people do, and a frontline report where they have resisted oppression, discrimination, and any other forms of issues such as police brutality and things in each nature where they've had demonstrations, protests, and lawsuits. So without further delay, Brother E, do you have any good news or good deeds or frontline report from where your vantage point?
At this moment, I have no good deeds. Frontline report. Just a bit concerned about the Niger? Just a bit concerned about that. Niger. There you go. Okay. Just a bit concerned about that. How they're trying to be. How can I put this? How they're not getting the assistance that they need at this time.
Yeah. In regard to assistance for what?
As far as the French, trying to get the gold from them.
Yeah,
and some other materials.
All right, then. How the French is continuously colonizing them and taking their precious resources, and the people are not getting anything out of it, and they are going through challenges. I understand. Sister Linda, you straight out of Florida. Any good deeds or frontline report?
Yeah, I am straight out of Florida, but I'm sorry I don't have any frontline reports this evening.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do. You do. Them brothers and sisters survived the hurricanes.
Oh, yes, storming out.
Other people. You know, I mean, was walking in the water waist high to save people and things of that nature. That was a good deed by our people. You know, they weren't just concerned with themselves. They was concerned with humanity as a whole. But anyway, I appreciate that. Brother Machinda, straight out of Louisiana. Any good deeds or frontline report?
Yeah, well, you know, just low on the local front, they where I'm at, they appointed the first Black fire chief in this town in its almost 100-year history.
Wow.
You know, and you got a Black mayor for the first time in 100 years. I told you about that before. Now he appointed the brother as the fire chief, and you got a few people in town running for state senator and state representative. I know them both. So I'm gonna lend my support. That kind of thing. Just whatever I can do to try to help them get to where they're going. But other than that, I'm just concerned about just the state of the young race. The young black race. It's a race. It's like it's we're going out the world backwards on a lot of on a lot of levels. A lot of good things are being done, so we can't discount that. Just to being on tonight, this is a positive, upwardly mobile, attempt to try to broaden the perspectives and enlighten the minds, but at the same time, they got us statistically on the clock. By 2030 and 2040, we're as a people, where our young generation is going to be at. I'm in the front every day on the educational front, and on post secondary, and it's like a lot of these folks is not, getting skill sets that's going to take them through, the next 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years, so that's just an alarming situation that bothers me, so I'm doing what I can to try to offset some of that pain and trying to, enlighten as many as I can within my path. But as far as any other news on the front, they look. I was reading about Haiti again, and it's what's going on. Like I say, I'm not there. We know they got a lot of propaganda that goes on, but at the same time, a lot of truth. And they say, oh, the gangs and took over Haiti, and things like that. There's a lot of churches and different missionaries and people that, in general, that go over there and try to set up shop and try to help the people. Certain people go over there and visit, but it's a lot going on over there. As far as and we all know about the revolution. But at the same time, it's one of the poorest countries in the Western Hemisphere. And I don't know the answer to that at this moment.
Well, let me just tell you that Haiti is one of the most revered people. Somebody is financing, they call them gangs, but they're really just into power seeking, and getting trying to get money to help the people. Some of them are doing street things, and that we don't condone that, we don't accept that. But somebody is putting them up to it. Divide and conquer has always been the European retribution toward us for our liberation. They've been upset with Haiti ever since the Haiti Revolution, and they're still paying French. The French, they're supposed to be paying the French.
Thought they paid them off already.
Reparation. Yeah, even though when they elect a democratically the leader they want, America or France comes in and destroys the party and destroys the person. The same old. America said they leave in Haiti and warned all the citizens to leave, but they didn't tell one corporation or nonprofit to leave. Ain't that something? You can tell the people they can leave, but they can keep their business going. That's rough. Brother Joe Hembrick, how you doing? You there, Brother Joe?
Yeah, I'm here.
Any good deeds, good news?
I just been out in the garden, man. Looking at the sun.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Nothing like growing your own food. That's a good model to emulate. That's beautiful.
Sun hadn't come out enough for me.
Uh-huh.
Had the pleasure of having a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses come to my house today.
I know you lectured them.
I let them go. I started to, and I thought about you. I said, no, go ahead. But it was a brother that was with him. I remember him from where I used to live, and he was supposed to be bringing a Bible scholar by my house, and he never did. I gave him a book to read, and he gave me something to read. But I didn't even bring that up. I let him go.
All right, well, that's good. Brother Rashid, good news or good deeds or frontline report?
Oh yeah, I have something good to report, and I want to share it. So let me share it here. I have this other podcast that I'm affiliated with now, and it's ranked up there with one of the best podcasts I've been hearing lately, and it's called the Level Set Show. And these brothers, it has allowed me to put their podcasts up on our platform to further spread the good news. So just last week, I put this one up right here. And Dr. Charles Alexander is one of the guys that's affiliated that comes on this podcast. Mm-hmm. And these guys are really knowledgeable. You got the host is Reddit Hudson. You have attorney Larry Field, Dr. Charles Alexander, and this other guy, Gerald Christmas. I don't know what he does, but these guys have a real, it's very knowledgeable information that they're sharing, and they have great analysis, sort of like our shows, but they're pretty consistent with just them coming on there. That's one of the shows, and there's another one that let me go back here. It's another one.
Well, when they come on, when can you catch?
Well, it's a closed session, look like, where there's no other people, but he's been sending me the shows lately, and I've been uploading them to our platform. So that was one of them. And where's the other one? Here's the other one. And I thought this was so very extraordinary. They were talking about Roberts Court's decisions, and that they have some great analysis going on there. They covered a lot of not topics, but historical personality like W.E.B. Du Bois and Marcus Garvey, and the differences they had remind me of Black Studies courses back when I was at Long Beach State, where we was doing comparing and contrasting different personalities during those times in the early 1900s, and how, again, they kind of pit us against each other. And it's unfortunate, but I think we'll get it right one day. And then they have one more show I'm gonna put up on. I have to put it up on Saturday or Sunday, and the title is Colored Conventions of August 24th, 25th, and 26th of 1854. So they're bringing some information that's not prevalent too much for many people to know about. You have to do some research. Are you familiar with the color conventions, Professor Rahh?
No.
So that's some very interesting information. And the guys back, like Martin Delaney, he's part of those colored conventions, and I think Frederick Douglass also. So
you're talking about the conventions back in 1700.
Yeah, so very good information. So I'm looking forward. I always look forward to their podcast, and they're affiliated with us now. So that's really good, especially for me. So hopefully other people can appreciate the in-depth analysis that they give.
All right. Let me share a few things. Are you through, Rashaki?
Yes, sir.
Okay. First of all, I want to say congratulations to the brothers and sisters from the front line in Alabama who won court decisions to redraw the districts that the Alabama legislature had drawn, and they ordered them to draw two predominantly African American districts. They previously had none, and they went and they sued them and fought and resisted. And it was a long fight, went all the way up to appellate court, and the appellate court ruled in the Black people favor. But without struggle, there's no progress. Frederick Douglass said that, and so they got progress. But the European is still resisting. He's resisting the court. He only drew up one, and the court, and they're going to try to take it again back to court. But odds on favor that they're going to get their two districts. If they would have had them two districts, they would have had the majority in, if they really ran Democrat, they would have had the majority in Congress today. But anyway, that's one thing. The other resistance in Arkansas, where Sarah Huckabee used to be Donald Trump's press secretary. She's governor there, and she ordered the school board to not teach African American history and studies, and the people resisted. And this was in Little Rock, Arkansas. She's governor of Arkansas, and 5 of the biggest opponents were part of the Little Rock 9, who were the first to integrate the schools in Little Rock. And that was good resistance because they raised this issue and exposed the racism and divisiveness that Huckabee brings to the table, her and her father, who ran for governor in Arkansas also. And so it's a good thing that the people stood up in Arkansas and said, we're going to teach African American studies anyway. And so they're challenging the government. And I like that. Then I want to say asante to the brothers and sisters in Jacksonville who are protesting the savage killing of 3 of their people at the Jacksonville dollar store, where this white boy just went in there and slaughtered the people. And the people just really, and then he killed himself, of course. And so people be wanting to know what's going on. Well, see, the struggle, it changes, it evolves, and it changes. At one time, there used to be groups of white people that went out and hung Black people, and even ate popcorn and made it a spectacle. And they would have night riders. That's why in the South, a lot of Black people pull their shades so nobody could look in. And they would go and they would threaten a man to come out, or they're going to burn the house down with your kids in it. And they'd take him and lynch him. Well, the people in Jacksonville stood up to the racism and demanded justice and visioning on justice and having a number of demonstrations. So we want to, that's good, I mean, that's from the front line. The next thing, in August, the end of August, was the March on Washington in recognition and appreciation of the 66th year, I think, of the March on Washington by Dr. Martin Luther King and Reverend Al Sharpton and Martin Luther King Jr. III. All of them were there on the second one. And it was a good, it was broadcast on C-SPAN, and it was just good speakers and with a cross section. Of course, it was integrated, you know, the unions and the gay people were there and all of that, but still, it was a good program, and we want to commend Sharpton and Martin Luther King Jr. for organizing this annually, starting about 4 years ago, and keeping the march alive. We got to remember that Martin Luther King didn't go there to speak about dreams. He went there to speak about justice, employment, in the wars, and all of that. As a matter of fact, his speech had nothing to do with a dream. That was something Mahalia Jackson urged him to do. When she was in the background, she said, Martin, tell him about the dream. And that's when he stopped looking at his notes and began to take him to church. And I had a dream, the gospel church. And that's how that came out. I think George Raveling, a basketball coach, got the notes, and I think they turned them over to the Schoenberg paper. But there is that was a good thing. Over 100,000 people showed up. Then I want to say also Asante for resistance, and that is Sister Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, the two sisters who worked in the polls in Georgia, and they won their suit against Giuliani. First, he ordered to pay the attorney fees, as well as the that's good, because if he pays the attorney fee, then the money that they're going to get is going to be them. The attorneys don't get a third of that unless they cheat them. They shouldn't, but we'll see how that goes. But Ruby Freeman got on TV and said, "You ruined my life. How you feel, President of the United States target you with lies, talking about they were passing out cocaine and doing this, and none of it was true." And I think they're going to sue Trump as soon as they get the opportunity, because he was a part of the spreading of the lie also. And then I want to also recognize the storm that was in Florida, Linda. DeSantos, the governor, went to speak to the people in Jackson and in one part of Florida, where it was a majority of Black people. No, I think he was at the Jacksonville shooting. He went there to offer his condolences, and the people booed him all the way out the town. And that's good, because of his racist views. They were
Jackson. Yes.
Huh? Linda?
That was in Jacksonville, yes.
Yeah, and that was good. And last but not least, I want to talk about something. It speaks to the excellence of Black people, but it's also the exploitation. And that is Brother Deion Sanders' first debut as a head coach of a major university in Colorado, University of Colorado. His team went to play away from home and beat, what's the name of that team, Joe? You there,
TCU.
Joe? TCU, a ranked team. And his son threw for over 500 yards. And Deion was just talking stuff all the way to the press conference. And it was just a good thing to see a brother like that go to a predominantly white community, be the head coach, and all them white folks up in the stands cheering. That's a trip. And also, we want to commend the 4 Black people that's in the courts. The judge in Washington, D.C., the sister, making Trump come in and say, "Yes, Your Honor," and face her judging him. This is a man that embodies the history of all the racism and abuse and misuse of us as Black people for years. And he embodies that. He's the one that woke them up and let them out and sick them on us from as far as his white supremacists and things of that nature. And so it was just a good thing for him to face a judge in Fulton County, Georgia, and also in Washington, D.C., but 2 Black women. And when they used to rape them and beat them and stuff, now he had to say, yes, Your Honor, no, Your Honor, I'm not guilty, Your Honor, and sit his butt down. And then the same thing in New York with Alvin, is that Braggs, and also Natasha, the sister, another sister in D.C. that won the lawsuit. These are the gravity and importance of this is that these are people that they enslaved their ancestors, and now it's like the meek shall inherit the earth, and the last shall be first, and, and the first shall be last. It hurts all these white people to see Black judges handing out sentences and ruling on the facts of the case, what should be in it, what not should be in it, and words cannot explain the sister in Georgia for she indicted all of them, and 19 people. 2 of those brothers and sisters that was collaborators. We always had collaborators. So they not only got the white racists that tried to overthrow the democratic will of the people, but they also got 2 Uncle Tom. So that's a good thing. And we want to thank her for being so bold to do that and charge them with the racketeering, the same thing they done to many Black people who selling drugs. You get them extra time. And now they're facing the same laws. Like Martin Luther King took their religion and whipped them with it for civil rights. Malcolm took their religion with him, from them, and turned it into Black power, Black nationalism. And now you got Black people, judges, taking their laws and holding them accountable to their laws. And I just think that was good resistance. So we want to say Asante Sana to all those that have done good deeds, and all that y'all have mentioned about good deeds. We always need to share the best of us as a people. White folks love to make us hate ourselves. Black on Black crime. Why Black people shooting Black people? When Hinckley shot Reagan, then one white boy said, why white people shooting the governor, the president? Why white people killing? When McVeigh blew up the federal building, why white people upset at their own country? Why they attacked Washington, D.C. and January 11th? We're talking about they want to take their country back. Where they taking it back from? Themselves? We don't own it. So who they taking it back from? White sympathizers? Oh, man, it's just a beautiful thing to see. The struggle continues. But you have to learn how to read the struggle. The oppressor cannot be our teacher. The mass media can, and not even some allies can be our teacher. We have to, as Malcolm said, think for ourselves and look for the best of us as a people. Count your victories. The war is not over. We lose some battles, they lose some battles. We win some battles, they win some battles. But until we're free, the war's not over. And so we have to always look for good deeds and frontline reports. Frontline deal with resistance, and struggle against injustice, corruption, and abuse of us as a people and all the minorities as humans. Build a lot allies and coalitions. Coalitions are short term, allies are long term. Relationships and cooperation with each other. So it's just been a beautiful, beautiful Black August. And we're going into September just as strong as they set these court dates for these people that represent. I don't look at it as well they attacked the Capitol. I look at them for being a part of the history of Jim Crowism, segregation, and civil rights law, victimization, and voter suppression. I look at them for being charged that, because that's what our interest is. Any comments? Any feedback? Brother E? You there, Brother E?
I'm here. I don't have no comments or no feedback at this present time.
All right. What about you, Machinda?
Yeah, I just want to say, yes, in the coming months, it's gonna be, we'll see what happens, down here. White folks is buying up a lot of guns. They got gun shops popping up. People buying a lot of guns. I know a white dude that I work with, he's a cool dude, actually he was the one that helped me get the job where I'm at, but he's still a redneck. He told me he's a redneck, and they got beliefs. He believes in Trump and all that. Told me that years ago. He liked Trump and all that, but he figured that he's a Christian man, and but he tried to separate his politics, so he say. But I met up with him probably about a month and a half ago. He showed up in a van, and he's got it outfitted like a survival van. They're down here, trying to live off the grid, if you know what that is, they got, solar panels on their vehicles and generators and batteries and things like that, loading up with gasoline and propane tanks. And they riding around with this in their vehicles because they believe, that it's a revolution that's gonna jump off, and like I say, they buying a lot of guns out here. So I'm just, and that's not just here. If Trump goes to jail or don't win the election, these people believe that their party is over. They see the writing on the wall. So, and they loading up. And I hope it don't come to that. But stay tuned. That's all I got to say.
Well, it looks like it's already started, from what they're doing. When a man getting indicted and facing 99 crime charges, and they still supporting him, and not supporting him for his policies, and not supporting him because of his foreign business, foreign policies either, with regards to his relationships with other people, and not supporting him because of his tax policies. Well, then what are they supporting him for? They supporting him for the Civil War. They supporting him for racism, that they want to be back the way it was, and they rather give up democracy. These are people that would move. I used to see them moving in San Onofre, down there by San Diego, next to the nuclear plant. By the ocean nuclear plant, back in the hills, was the Europeans living up there in them hills in San Diego. As you go to San Diego, you look to the left if you're going south, and you see people living next to a nuclear plant rather than live where Black people are, or Latinos are. That's weird, man. They rather catch cancer than be around a neighborhood with just Black people. And the same thing with them in certain parts of Santa Barbara. So probably about 2% black people. I mean, you know, the further you drive out of the urban city, the more white it gets. And so it's very important. But what you raised, Machine, is very crucial. Because while we are trying to buy Beyonce tickets, you know, spending $300 and $400, they're preparing for civil war. And they'd rather have a dictator than democracy. As long as he supports the suppression of black people. Poor white people felt better than rich black people because they had one thing the rich man can't get. He can get some money. He can get started, but he can't get to be white. You understand? And so that's a challenge that they face. So you raise a good issue about raising the consciousness of the people to prepare for a long, protracted struggle, possibly. And getting back to the killing of black people, as I said, they used to come in groups. Now they lone wolf individuals. It was an individual that ran into the church and shot them brothers and sisters. It's an individual that went into Aurora and shot them by people in the movie theater. So they learned the game. You know, so they don't have to wear sheets no more. Trump said, y'all can take them off. You understand? And just come out front. You know, and just give it to me. I'll fight the battle. All right. But thanks a lot, Machinda, for that update on the preparations of what they're doing in Louisiana. If they're doing it in Louisiana, they're doing it in Mississippi, and they're doing it all over the South, Alabama. And we know that they are already threatening the black judges in Georgia and in D.C. and everywhere else. It's funny how when we were on the movement and building black organizations, the FBI infiltrated them, even though they were black, and they got black collaborators and spies, but they can't disrupt these black organizations, a white racist organization. All right, then. You have any comments, Brother Joe? Are you there, Joe? We'll get back to Joe. Brother, Sister Linda, you have any comments?
No, I'm listening, but no, I have no comments. I'm just listening and learning and agreeing with most of everything that's being said.
All right. Brother Rashiki?
Excellent observation about the judges, Professor Rahh.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Beyonce. People are really into things that don't make any sense. And I think that's a part of the brainwashing that goes on. You know, we could cater to entertainment when Brother Machinda is saying that weapons are being purchased. And then you also say that instead of having democracy, they rather have a dictatorship. And just the magnitude of the ignorance and the waste of time that's being perpetrated by a lot of people, and people of color especially. So we have to wake up, and I'm glad that I'm a part of an organization that's on a weekly basis offering information to the masses about things that make sense. So I appreciate everybody that come on here. And Professor Rahh, I think what you bring to the table is invaluable.
Much you can, brother, but without your platform, we couldn't do it. And I just want to commend you on putting up your personal money and committing to speaking truth first to the people and then to power. And that's very important that it goes in that order. And, you know, we're in challenging times. We've always been in challenging times ever since we've been here. Since we had contact with white people of the third kind, where we actually touched and interact, they have had a hidden agenda. They didn't fight their way into Africa. They came as guests. the people welcomed them because they were human, and they know they were strange, but they accepted them. And in fact, they were in the Palestine. The Arabs accepted those white Jews and things of this nature. And they didn't fight their way into North America. The Native Americans fed them and taught them how to make it here. And they started building forts and locking and claiming land and talking about they discovered something where people was already here. So, because they didn't count them as people, they didn't count us as people. They didn't see themselves capturing and brutalizing humans. They saw us as objects. They used to call the veterinarian whenever we got sick in the Holocaust of enslavement. But the point is, it's not about anger. You have righteous anger. You gotta have righteous anger. It's that we got to begin to train our young people to think and to go to school to get number A's and get in key positions. Be a part of their lives. Teach them to love you more than they love Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre and all them hipper hoppers and hopper hippers. I ain't against music. Music is good. But you don't just sing about what it is, you also sing about what you want it to be. And that's very important. And, conditions create consciousness. And as we become more conscious and act out more conscious, the music would reflect that. That's what happened in the 60s. Why Temptations came out with Puzzle People. Curtis Mayfield, We're a Winner. All those things, James Brown, Black and I'm Proud, all of those things came because of the consciousness that the people brought to bear during the 1960 Black Power movement. And there's two, as I always tell you, there's two struggles. There was for Black liberation, the civil rights struggle, which the Europeans like to act like that was the only struggle. And then there was the Black Power struggle. And so and they assassinated both. Martin Luther King, you couldn't be more humble than him. And James Earl Ray, they gave him the case, but even the King family don't believe he did it by himself. So we look at things differently. But the most important thing is that we learn to love and respect each other. When you see the sister on the street selling her body, that's somebody's sister, that's somebody's daughter, that's somebody's mother, and somebody, and you have to see her like that, not as an object or, let me abuse her or call her names and things of this nature. And the same thing when you see a brother, a young man that's homeless, you don't give him, when you ask for $1, say, oh man, what, get a job. You know what I'm saying? Man, why you out here? The dignity is gone when you have to beg for $1. So why jump on it? If you got it, give it to him. And don't say, I'll buy you some coffee. I ain't gonna give you no money. Man, it's just a grown man. No matter what he do with $1, what are you gonna do with $1, $2? You understand? I mean, kids, you don't even give your kids $1 no more. Everything is, $5, $10, $20. If you're gonna help somebody, help them. And make a contribution. You sitting here $500 in your pocket and you can't spare $110, $120 to a homeless Black person. That don't even make sense. You just get angry at them. If you're gonna share, share. Don't demonize them for being homeless or being destitute or even being a drug addict. They take it and go get high. That's on them. But at least you did your part. You thought you were doing a good deed, and you gave them some money to eat. Hopefully they'll do that. to just, even go somewhere and buy some soap and wash up, whatever. You never know, but it's about love and patience and understanding and seeing the world different from the way your system wants you to see the world. And that's the challenge we have, to win the hearts and minds of our people. And how do you win their hearts and minds? You give them love. You give them respect. You give them their dignity back. Even if they don't accept it, even the ones with mental illness, you understand it's a sickness, it's a disease you're suffering from. Not why are you so crazy? It's a different struggle from that standpoint. So, we as a people have a lot to be thankful for, give appreciation to those that did struggle to get us where we can be where we are, and take advantage of it and pay back by continuing the struggle. We owe it to our ancestors. We owe it to Malcolm X to continue the struggle. We owe it to Queen Mother Moore to continue the struggle. We owe it to Denmark Vesey and Overdrew Ali, and we know it to all the Black people that struggled. We owe it to Nat Turner. We owe it to Harriet Tubman. We owe it to our mothers and fathers who left the South, some of them, to give us an opportunity and worked as day workers and worked in cancer refineries and gave us a house and food, even if it's just beans and rice every night. But at least we was off the streets, and we had shelter. And this was before welfare, because at that time it was farewell. So they had to do the thing that they had to do for the family. So we owe it to them. My mother and father jumped on the back of a truck to leave Louisiana. And they started their family over here. They got doctors, they got professors, they got, that grew out of they getting us somewhere where we could breathe and where we can go in there and use our talents to get further ahead. But always giving praise and respect for those that laid the foundation for us to be able to do that. So, Brother E, you have any comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on what Brother Mashinda was saying about their being prepared. I see that happening across Los Angeles as well. Some parts of Los Angeles and a lot of parts of Orange County where they're getting all their gear together. And also bring enlightenment, Trump has been doing fundraisers helping the participants at January 6th out. Mm-hmm. That's about it.
Yeah, but you got to remember this. These white folks, they got money to buy those guns. Those guns cost $500, $600. Converting your Trabant to solar power generators and all that costs a lot of money. Most Black people, most of us, not all of us, many of us, we're just trying to get our kids through school and trying to give them a choice of what to eat that night, and trying to get them some, make them, feel better, to want to do good in school and want to be a obedient and participatory family member. And so it's not easy to do that. Now, there are some Black people, you got Black gun clubs, and some Black people see the light like you do, Brother E, and they prepare, and they, for whatever reason. But, one of the things that they did in South Africa when I was studying, they said, why do they exploit the people and just paying them $1.25 a day? And the white man said, well, if we pay them more, they may buy guns. And so keeping people poor is not just oppression. It's a part of the national security apparatus. Haiti's is poor. and they want to keep the people poor. And so they fight for food and fight for shelter and fight the weather and fight everything. Because as long as you keep people poor, they're going to need their basic needs. To tell students, if you're homeless, you shouldn't be in class tonight. You should be finding your spot, this thing. And if you don't have no money, you should be out trying to earn stuff, because your survival and development is a part of our survival and development. And you go down, we got more Black people with mental illness than ever before in history that's coming out on the streets. And we need to understand why. Why is this country producing so many mentally ill people? You understand? And why some of us spending $4,000 and $5,000 to go to Vegas, you understand, in a big hotel, which is fine. I mean, you deserve it. You work hard. You should be able to create some time, but not every month, not every week. You understand? It's got to be a change. And as Sam Cooke said, change is going to come. Brother Hembrick, you got any comment? Are you back yet?
Yeah.
You there? We can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you have any comments? Well, Brother Joe, you have a wealth of knowledge being a public school teacher and principal, counselor, administrator, and vice principal, and all of those things. So you've seen it. And you know the degree of challenges many of these young people face. They're being in placement homes and without a vision for their future. So, do you see any solution?
No, the parents, kids are, in a bad way, and if the group home people was really, they need to send them to a different some kind of training, but it seems to be all about the paper, but people really try to do something, get moved on. I know my mentor, he had two group homes in Florida, one for girls and one for boys, taking on large numbers down there. And he took his boys to the Million Man March, and the powers that be shut him down there. Had an excuse, They started looking at him in the paper and whatnot. One kid snuck out and did something, and they used that to dismantle all that he had built. What's up with the cops that killed a sister, the pregnant sister, with her two kids in the car the other day?
Well, I know they're struggling.
Where was that
at? I think it was in Wisconsin, wasn't it?
Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
Columbus. Yeah, Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, okay.
Man, it goes on and on and on. Were the two kids in the car with her, Machinda, when this happened? I know she was pregnant.
Oh, that was Brother E.
Oh, that was Brother E?
I think she was by herself she was pregnant. She was by herself at the shopping center. Okay. And police was helping. Police was trying to open the door. Somebody locked their keys in the car. So they say she was in there. She had been in there shoplifting. I guess they alerted the police. So another dude stood in front of the car, the other guy that was working on that other vehicle. So they did a showdown with her. You're talking about they wanted her to open the door. And she was like, "Why you want me to open the door?" And then the other guy, he pointing the gun through the windshield, and he blasted through the windshield. And that was it. Baby died. Everybody died.
Mm. Wow, that's heavy, man. But that's part of the struggle. They wake us up, shake us up. Everything happened for a reason. Good you brought that up, Brother Joe. And thanks for the correction, Brother E, for where it was at. Linda, you have any comment? Linda, you still there? All right, Roger Key.
No, just a good analysis. I think that what you said earlier about seeing people as human and not as, what they're currently going through as homeless or prostitution, things of that nature. I think that's having compassion and understanding, like you said, and then with understanding, you're better to handle things. And, you hope that people, make changes in their lives. And the more people that do the things that's best for all people, the better things will get. So, like you said, you got to capture the hearts and minds of the people. And definitely, that's why a lot of people don't know how important Professor Rahh is, because of the work you have done in the community with all of the programs that you had helping people. And when you see that type of personality, you want to emulate that and do what you can to help the cause. So we're living right now in some special times to have dynamic educators and people contribute their time and efforts towards, bettering our condition. So I don't think there's no better work that people could do than what educators do that's really educating. So it's just a wonderful thing. I'm glad I'm at the point in my life where I have almost complete understanding how valuable education is. And that's what I try to convey to anybody that I am around.
Yeah, monitoring and meeting with your family and in group sessions. That's just like you run a business. The family is a business. And you discuss issues that they're going through and let them know what to do and what to expect and what you expect from them, and give them a chance to voice themselves in the meeting. And then at the same time, you got to be in physical shape to raise kids. They'll wear you down. You understand? I taught family parenting. That's the first time I said, you got to get in shape. You got to start walking, losing weight, and exercising so that you can keep up with these youngsters. Have peripheral thought, peripheral vision. Peripheral vision, me and Rashi P, when we play basketball, when you go down the court, you got to be able to see the whole court. You understand? And you got to be able to see your children for who they are and what they're trying to do. You walk in the room and they talking gang talk and you don't even know what it is. They got drugs in the house and you don't even know what fentanyl look like. You don't even know what certain drugs look like that they taking, vapor pipes. You don't know what that is because you stay in the house watching Lucy. That don't even make sense. You got to continuously educate yourself to what's going on in the community and what's going on in the language that they talk. If kids be talking gang talk right in front of their parents, and they don't know cuz, blood, and they don't say, well, what do you mean, cuz? What do you mean, blood? You know, you got to be on sharp and consistent yourself and a role model for them. You know, my kids never seen, can't see me walking out no liquor store with no liquor. You know, most are gonna see me walk out of a liquor store with some lotto ticket. Get past that, that's it, you know. Bluebird out here in California, they got all them lucky things, their liquor store. And, you know, if I could pass by and there ain't no line, I'm gonna jump out and give me $1 ticket or two. But that's the only reason I go in a liquor store. And they ain't gonna see me coming out of no crack house, you know, no gambling house. And it ain't because I'm religious. It's because I'm family and I gotta be an example for my children. And I'm gonna check on their homework. Because homework is more important than going to school. You know, studying. Rashiki teach math. When you have algebra, it's homework every night. Even if you're just practicing the formula. Every night, you gotta spend at least 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And make sure you turn your homework in, all of it completed. You know, you check them, say, hey, man, you got your homework, let me see it. You know what I'm saying? What you value, they'll value as young people. You know, you didn't kiss your mama by it. They over there and kiss your mama by it. You going to school. You know, teach them to love and you teach them the values you want them to have. You got to instruct them. The television ought to instruct them. You find your sons kissing boys and your daughters kissing girls, and then you get mad, you know, because you didn't teach them things. Now, I'm not saying I'm against anybody in love with same sex. That's their business. But I'm saying, as parents, you got to want them to love you more than they love anything. So, Rashiki, go ahead and take us on home.
All right. So tomorrow we have Brother Muko coming back doing part 2. And we have the wrong dates up here, but we will get that taken care of. Brother, just a second here. Yeah, Brother E. I'm a little tired here, but Brother E got us made us aware of the dates being incorrect on the website. It should be the 5th and the 6th, but I called that in already. Hopefully that happens. And let me say that we have this petition on here now. So we have a petition about the homeless, the elderly living with seriously mental illness from becoming homeless. So that's LARCA. Brother Benny Tenson came on and talked about that. So now we have the petition where you can go on and sign for them to get assistance with being homeless and being able to get off the street. Well, that's a good thing. It's on there now. So we have Brother Muko coming back tomorrow doing part 2, Body Snatchers, Protecting Your Black Sperm / Justice. So that's tomorrow. He was on a month ago. Anything for next week, Professor Rahh?
I'll call you tomorrow. I got somebody that we're going to put on. I think my daughter is dealing with challenges in education.
All right, so each one teach one in Conscious Corner. We're going to take our pause. Have a good evening.